Students, so we will continue with the same chapter, that is force and pressure. So please open page number electrostatic force on page 196. So we have already discussed about electric charges, electrostatic force. Okay, so today we will discuss in detail. So what is electrostatic force? Just see here, the force which is exerted by electrically charged object. What are electrically charged objects? Electrically charged objects are the objects having charge, that you know. So what are electrostatic force? The force which is exerted by electrically charged objects. And what are electrically charged objects? Objects having charge. So the objects may have positive charge or negative charge. So just underline, electrostatic force is a force exerted by electrically charged object. Okay, so for that it is important that the object should be charged. For example, here there is a example, electrically charged object can exert an electrostatic force on an uncharged object. For example, a plastic comb which is electrostatically charged by rubbing on dry hair exerts electrostatic force on uncharged tiny pieces of paper and attracts them. So this you know, this thing we have already discussed, that the uncharged comb, the comb which is not charged, it does not pull it does not attract the pieces of paper, but the comb can be charged by rubbing it on the dry hairs and the comb becomes charged, and then the comb, when it's brought near the pieces of paper, comb attracts the pieces of paper. Now why? Because the comb, it becomes charged, it becomes electrically charged, and the pieces of paper, that is neutral. So any charged object, just remember students, any charged object can attract a neutral object, or any charged object attracts a neutral object. I hope it is clear to everyone. So here the pieces of paper is a neutral. So now this comb, as you can see here in the figure also, this comb, it attracts these pieces of paper. But how this comb is attracting these pieces of paper? It is attracting by the force which is exerted by the electrostatic charges. And what is electrostatic charge? I hope you all know. So the comb, either it becomes positively charged or it becomes negatively charged. But whether the comb is positively charged or whether it is negatively charged, it will attract the pieces of paper, and this is a neutral. So if a comb is positively charged or if a comb is negatively charged, it attracts a neutral objects. So charged object attracts a neutral objects. But if any object or any body is positive charge and other body is negative charge, then also they will attract each other. So I hope it is clear to everyone. So what is the electrostatic force? Electrostatic force is what? It is the force by which the neutral objects are attracted towards the charges. So please, I hope it's clear. It's very simple, and it's not that you only on rubbing the comb with the dry hair the charges can be generated. If you can try using ball pen also. Now see here, the movement of tiny pieces of paper is due to the electrostatic force exerted. This I have already explained you, acquired by combs on rubbing the hair. Okay, now students, you must have seen this. Just see here, you know that if the inflated balloon is rubbed with a piece of synthetic cloth, okay, what is that balloon? If you rub with a synthetic cloth and then it is pressed against the wall, the balloon will cling to the wall. Now here, on rubbing the balloon with the polyester cloth, what happens? The balloon becomes charged, and what is wall? Wall is neutral, so balloon, it clings to the wall. There is a force of attraction between the balloon and the wall. And you must have also observed that sometimes the hairs of the body that is raised when we try to take off the terylene or polyester shirt on a dry weather. Why? When we do so, why the hairs are raised? Because of the charge only. Okay, see here, Please underline. Now it is not that the electrostatic force is exerted by a charged object only on a neutral object. No, the electrostatic force can be exerted by a charged object on another uncharged object. Please underline, electrostatic force can be exerted by a charged object on another object from a distance when they are not in touch with each other. So electrostatic force is a, you know that it's a non-contact force. For example, here also you can see in comb and this example, comb and pieces of rubber. So here also the force is acting from a distance. The two bodies are not in contact with each other. Now here also you can see, students, suppose if this is a, I told you the charged body can attract a neutral body. A charged body always attract a neutral body. If I told you this just now, that whether the body is positively charged or negatively charged, but it will always attract a neutral body. Now suppose if this is any body, let us may say this is any object which is charged. Okay, let me say this is positively charged. It becomes positively charged. Now when this is brought near the neutral body, it will attract it. But when this is brought near another body, another object which is also positively charged, then these two will go away, and that is called as repulsion. So that is also electrostatic force, a force which is generated by the charges. Okay, now when this charged body is brought nearer to another body which is negatively charged, then this will be attracted. Understood? So a charged body can attract, it always attracts a neutral body. But if the two charged bodies, or if the charged bodies is like, or they have the same charge, then there is a repulsion. And if it is unlike bodies, unlike objects, then there is a attraction. Sorry. So this all is written in this paragraph. Now, so electrostatic force is a non-contact force because it acts from a distance. Okay, not necessarily the two objects they have to be in contact. Okay, that you know. Now another one is gravitational force, as you can see here. Now students, you know force of gravity, and if anyone asks you what is force of gravity, you always say earth attracts the objects, and you think that it is only earth which attracts the object. No, it is not like that. Newton, he said that all the objects in the universe attract each other, all the objects. Now if I am sitting, you are sitting, so even a paper is attracting the earth, earth is attracting the paper, but generally paper falls down towards the earth because the mass, the area, the weight of the earth is so much, so the force exerted is also so much comparative to paper. So paper falls down. So each and every object in the universe attracts each other. Please underline the pull exerted by objects possessing mass, and this is called as gravitational force. Gravitational force between please underline, two objects is a force of attraction, and it's always a force of attraction. It's a force of attraction. It acts even if the two objects are not connected by that you know. Okay, now apple falls down towards the earth, both of them are not touching. So just remember, all the objects in the universe, they attract each other. Okay, in detail you will study in higher classes. Now if I take the case of, let us take the case of an apple and an earth. So always you will see that apple falls towards the earth. Students, apple also attracts the earth, but the size of the apple is so much, though the force is also so much. So it attracts the earth by very little force, and you know the size of the earth is so big. So the force which is exerted by the earth will also be too much comparative to the force which is exerted by the apple on the earth. So because of that, the apple falls on the earth. Okay. Please underline, it is the gravitational force between the sun and the earth which holds earth in the orbit. Why the earth is in the orbit? Because of the gravitational force between the two. And it is the gravitational force between the earth and the moon which holds the moon in the orbit around the earth. Gravitational force between two ordinary objects. Now if you take the case of two stones, let us take the case of two small stones. Now student, this stone is also exerting a force on it. means, and you know the forces, gravitational forces of all is always attractive force. Okay, it attracts, or it's a force of attraction. So this object or this stone is this stone A is attracting stone B. Stone B is also attracting stone A, but since the size of the stones are so small that it is not detected easily. Understood? The gravitational pull becomes strong only if one of the object has huge mass, like Earth. Understood? So only it can be detected, or it becomes strong. Definitely it will. Now see, this stone, this much size, this much mass will exert this much small force only. Okay. This stone will also exert this much force. But if a huge object like Earth is there, you know, it's so huge, so it will exert a huge force also, which can be easily detected. Understood? The gravitational pull becomes strong only, this I have already. The gravitational pull between Earth and the stone is very large and can be detected easily. Now here you can see here, now this stone is attracting this stone is attracting this, but it is not detected because the size is very, very small. But here in place of B, if we take, suppose this is stone, and let me say here this is Earth. Now you know the size of the Earth is so much, the force exerted by the Earth on stone is also very, very huge. So the force exerted by Earth on the stone will be very, very large, and stone will fall towards, or will be attracted towards the Earth. Okay, this point. Okay, now you see, if we drop a stone from some height, you know, if you drop a stone, it will fall towards the Earth. This is because Earth exerts a gravitational force of attraction on the stone and pulls it down. In fact, yes, what will happen if you drop a stone, if you drop an apple, if you drop a leaf, if you drop a pen, if you drop a book, if you drop a table, what will happen? It will fall down. Why it falls down? Because Earth, it exerts a gravitational pull, okay, over these objects. And you know, this gravitational pull is a force of attraction. It pulls all these objects towards itself. Okay, and so Earth doesn't, also Earth, it pulls all the objects towards itself, okay, by a gravitational pull. It attracts all the objects. Or you can say Earth exerts a force of attraction to all the, on all the objects. And how much is that force of attraction, or that force of attraction? Please pay attention. The force of attraction exerted by the Earth on the objects, or you can also say the gravitational pull of Earth. What is gravitational pull? Gravitational pull is the force of attraction only. As I told you, all the objects, they exert, they attract each other. So, and that is the gravitational pull. So Earth also attracts the objects, Earth. So there is a force of attraction between Earth and other objects also. So we can say there is a gravitational pull. So since the size of the Earth is very, very big, so Earth exerts a gravitational pull on all the objects. And you know the gravitational pull, that is the force of attraction. So Earth attracts all the objects towards itself, and all the objects falls down towards the Earth. And as I told you, all the objects attracts Earth also. But since the size of the Earth comparative to other object, or you can say the mass or the weight, now if the size is more, the weight will be more. So the weight or the mass of the Earth is much, much more as compared to the objects. So the force exerted will be much, much more. And that force which is exerted by the Earth, or the gravitational pull exerted by the Earth on all the objects, is called as force of gravity. What is force of gravity? Force of gravity is nothing. It is the gravitational pull of the Earth, or force of gravity is the force of attraction by which all the objects are attracted towards the earth, and this force of gravity is 10 Newton, approximate 9.8 Newton or 10 Newton. So earth attracts all the objects towards itself by this much force, that is 10 Newton or 9.8 Newton. Understood? The force, yes, I have done this now. Yes, the force with which the earth pulls the objects towards it is called force of gravity. So gravitational pull of earth is called as force of gravity, and it has a fixed value 9.8. So 9.8 Newton. So earth attracts all the objects with the force of, or by the force of 9.8 Newton. Gravity is a natural force of attraction. We are all pulled to the earth by the force of gravity. For example, when a child falls from a tree, it is the force of gravity which brings the child down. Similarly, when a diver dives into the swimming pool, it is the force of gravity which brings him down. The force of gravity acts on all the objects, and the force of gravity causes all the objects to move towards the earth. So gravitational pull, or the force of attraction by the earth on all the objects, is called as force of gravity, and it has a fixed value, that is 9.8 Newton. A leaf falls from a tree down to gravity. A fruit also falls down from the tree due to the force of gravity. Okay. Water in the rivers flows down also due to the force of gravity. Okay, understood? When we open the tap begins to flow down towards the ground due to force of gravity. Okay. So please underline. The gravitational force of earth acts on objects from the distance. You know that, and that is why it's a non-contact force. So we will do till here. Rest we will do in next class. Tomorrow I will upload the video and I will discuss some question and answers, and I will give you the introduction of pressure. So I will just tell you the answers of the homework which was given in the previous class. What is the push or pull on the object known as? That is known as force. Name the quantity whose unit is Newton, that is force. Give one example where force changes the shape of the object. So there are many examples, and I think everyone has done it correctly only. Now the homework for today is question number 4. That is when a ball is dropped from height. Okay, this question number 4. Question number 5. Question number 7. Okay, so this is the homework. And with so students, if you have any doubt, you can clarify your doubts. And thank you. Have a nice